Okay, I think we are live. Let me get my phone set up so I can be here with you guys. Okay, we are live. Okay, hi everyone. Happy Tuesday. The holiday threw me off, but it's definitely Tuesday. Put on my volume. Okay, so I am excited to talk to you all today about how to know when it's time to do things differently in your finances. So I feel like sometimes in life we can get complacent with how things go, and things may not be terrible, or maybe they are, or things could just be moving business as usual, but you're not seeing the signs that you need to do things differently with your money. While I think that could apply to just about any area of life, we're just specifically talking finances. So if you are here with me live, say hello. If you're catching the replay, say hello. If you have any questions about some of the signs that I'm going to go through, definitely drop a comment and let me know. But hopefully I make it clear. And if any of these signs apply to you, I'm also going to share your first next step, or a few things you can do to start moving in the right direction with your finances. So I think we can go ahead and get started. Before I dive into some specific and not so specific signs that it's time to do things differently in your finances, I just want to stress the fact that finances should not be a negative aspect of your life. So finances should not make you feel anything but liberated. When you are thinking about money, or how you manage your money, or creating your budget, or doing anything with your finances, you should not feel anything but good, or at least feel like you are in control. If you are feeling negative about your finances, that's not a good thing, and that's not how it has to be, and that's not how it should be. So I just want to start by saying that, finances should be a liberating, positive experience, and if they're not for you, that's something that I would really want you to think about. What is making your money, your finances so negative? Why is it bringing you down? Why is it keeping you from sleeping at night? Really think through that, and then think about how you can change that, or what you can do a little bit differently so that you're not feeling so drained and negative with your money. But just had to throw that out there, a little disclaimer. That's not specifically one of the signs that it's time to do something different in your finances, but that is just a life wake-up call that it should not be negative. So let me dive in. I see some people on live. Say hello. I'm trying to follow along on my phone, so I'll do my best to catch comments as they come in. But here we go. How to know when it's time to turn things around in your finances. So I kind of touched on, if your finances make you negative, that's a sign that things shouldn't be moving the way they are moving. But I want to expand on that a little bit and share that if your finances make you anxious, depressed, overwhelmed, upset, anything that's not a positive feeling or emotion, it's a sign that you should turn things around, do things a little differently. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight and you're just going to automatically wake up and feel good about your situation, but if you're consistently feeling those things, feeling anxious, depressed, worried, stressed out when it comes to your money, it's definitely a sign that it's time to do things a little differently and turn your situation around. And like I said, after I go through these signs, I'm going to share a few things you can do to take a step in the right direction. So another sign that it's time to turn things around in your financial situation, do things a little differently, is if you truly believe that you make good money. So maybe you're making the most money you've ever made before, you are bringing in a decent amount for where you live, you believe that you are making great money, but for whatever reason, you have nothing to show for it. You never seem to have money, you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're wondering which bills are going to get paid and when, that is a big, big, big sign that you need to do things differently. If you are making good money, you should have money left over in between pay periods. If not, and if you don't have that money left over, that sounds more like a money management issue and a budgeting issue than anything else. And honestly, that's not a bad spot to be in, right? Because if you make good money, you can turn your habits and situation around. If you don't make enough for your situation, that's where it gets a little bit harder. But if you believe that you make good money but just never seem to have any when you need it, that's a sign it's time to do things a little differently. Another sign is you are proactively putting money into your savings account, but you're also proactively taking it out. So maybe you have direct deposit set up straight to your savings account from your paycheck, or you have automatic transfers. Whatever the case may be, you have money set up to go into savings, but you're always taking it back. So that's a sign you need to do things a little bit differently in your finances. And it could just be looking at your budget and making sure that you can actually afford what you're putting into savings. So it's very possible that you're just being a little too proactive and putting too much into savings, and that's causing you to take it back because you didn't account for other bills and expenses. So if you are consistently putting money into savings, you're proactive about it, but you always seem to take it back, that's a sign you got to do things a little bit differently in your finances, and it's likely just a budgeting issue. So another sign it's time to turn your financial situation around, do things a little differently, is you are not improving year over year with your finances. So I know I've talked about before doing, year-end assessments, you do the month-end money pulse checks. You should always be improving. And I'm not saying that every single month is going to be perfect and you're never going to fall behind. We're human, it happens. But on a consistent basis, you should see growth. If you look at it from an annual perspective, you should be in a better place next year than you are this year. If you're looking at your situation this year, you should be better this year than you were last year. And I'm not just talking in terms of how much money you make, although that can help, right? So one thing you could do is look at your tax returns every year. Are you making more money, or are you staying in the exact same place with your income? If you are staying in the exact same place, are you improving in other areas? So is your savings account growing? Is your retirement account growing? Are you paying down your debt? Income doesn't necessarily mean growth, although it helps, but there are other things you can look at to see if you are improving year over year. The best form of assessing your progress is tracking your net worth. So seeing what your net worth is month over month, but mostly year over year, that really gives you a good indication if you are improving year over year or if you're falling behind. And if you're falling behind, then you've got to do things differently with your finances. So another sign that it's time to turn your financial situation around is if you consistently get raises or bonuses, but always end up living paycheck to paycheck. So this happens to a lot of us. This happens to the best of us. We get a raise at work, we get our tax refund, we get a lump sum of money, whatever the case may be, and we think, okay, this is all I needed to get ahead and make sure that I can save. But for whatever reason, we end up back living paycheck to paycheck. That is a sign that the issue is not how much money you make, but what you're doing with your money. So you're likely not managing your money well, or you're not fixing what the true issue was to begin with. So if it's budgeting or a lack of control with your spending, whatever the case may be, you are not fixing your situation with more money. You are getting more money and your situation's still staying the same way, or your habits are staying the same. So if you find that you're consistently getting raises and bonuses and extra money coming your way, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck, that's a sign you got to do things a little bit differently in your finances so that you can get ahead. And then the last sign that you could have, and that you should use and leverage and make sure that if this applies to you, you turn your financial situation around is you have not or are not or you just haven't thought about your future, right? So it's just gone over your head. You thought, okay, I'll worry about that later. I'm young. I don't need to stress about that right now. I'll make more money down the line. I'll marry some rich man, whatever the case may be. If you have not thought about your future, that's a sign you got to do things differently in your finances because time keeps going. I'm 31 and I can't even believe it. I can't believe how fast time has gone. I started saving for retirement a decade ago, and if I hadn't, I would be so far behind. And I'm not saying that so that you feel bad. I'm saying that so you take action right now. If you are not thinking about your future, if you are not saving for retirement, if you are not investing or paying down your debt or improving year over year, it is going to catch up with you and it's not going to be a good experience. So if that is your situation right now, that's fine. Accept it, right? But change it. Work to improve it. Nobody's perfect. We're all going to have issues. However, you do have to recognize what's happening in your situation, acknowledge that it's there, and then proactively do things differently so that you can turn it around. Anybody can turn their situation around. I did. You guys know my story. Anybody can turn it around. You just have to recognize that it's time to turn it around and then take the right steps to improve your situation. So I went through all of those signs pretty quickly, but those are just big, big, big red flags. If any of those situations apply to you, it's a sign that you gotta move in the right direction, do things a little bit differently with your finances, with your budget, with how you manage your money, with how you control your spending, and start working towards progress. Progress, not perfection. We just want progress. So a few things that you can do to help move in the right direction without feeling overwhelmed, because I know it can feel overwhelming, but start by getting an idea of where you currently stand. So what are you working with? How much debt do you have? How much savings do you have? How much money do you make? How much money do you spend? Get an understanding of where you currently stand. Once you know that information, you can figure out the best way to move forward. You can set up a budget that helps you stop living paycheck to paycheck, or set up a budget that helps you get out of debt. Even if it's a slow climb, that's okay. Progress is what we are after. So I think that's going to be the best way for you to move forward instantly. Just understand where you currently are in your finances. Another thing you can do is download my free money multiplier checklist. So in this checklist, there are specific areas of your finances that I call out that you can do, actions you can take to improve in each of those specific areas of your finances. So I'll link to that in the comment section. Totally free, just a download, and you can check off the tasks as you complete them. And then you can start, feeling like you have some momentum and just keep it going. Sometimes it's just a consistent, slow grind, and that's totally okay. Had a call coming in. Okay, so thank you all for joining me here today. If any of those signs apply to you, hey, just know it's totally fine. You just have to do something about it, okay? And I'm here for you, so if you have questions or need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. And I will drop the link to the free money multiplier checklist in the comments section. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye, everyone. Have a great night.